What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Battlefield 5, guys. Guys, I'm very hyped for this game. As most of you know, I'm a big Battlefield guy. I'm fairly new to the series. Battlefield 1 was my first game. I did go out and get Battlefield 4 after I played Battlefield 1. I do absolutely love the series. Now, you don't have to be an oldie. You don't have to have been playing since 2002 in 1942 to love the series, guys, and I'm absolutely hyped for this new game. We got that little teaser today, and it is essentially confirmed that it is World War II. Now, it could span over multiple eras. Who knows? It could be something completely different, but 99.9999% chance it is going to be World War II, guys. So today I'm going to talk about, guys, what Battlefield 5 World War II needs to have that Battlefield front, that Battlefield 1 did have, what it needs to keep, different changes, all kinds of stuff like that. I'm just going to be going over that. 100% my opinion, guys. It is okay to disagree, as always. Let me know if you did disagree in the comments down below, because I do love getting in arguments with people that are just dead wrong, because I'm always right. I'm just kidding, guys, of course. But, guys, let's hop right into it. First things first, the game needs to be historically accurate, in my opinion. We can't be having historically inaccurate games. So, guys, one of the factors that I loved about Battlefield 1 was the history that I got out of it. World War I know so much about just from the game, but also inspired me to go out and learn a little bit more about it. 99% of it came from YouTube videos, of course, but I know so much more about the war that I never would have known if had I not picked up the game and started playing it, guys. And I absolutely love that aspect of it. And when World War II comes out, Battlefield 5, I want the same aspect to come with it. I want to be able to learn about history. I want that from a video game. I think that's very cool. I get to enjoy myself, but also I get a little bit of education out of it. I get to further my mind a little bit, and that's always good in my opinion. And I absolutely loved it. I know so much about World War I now that I never would have known. Now, granted, you have to do a lot of learning by yourself, but just playing the game, it teaches you so much about the war. So, guys, I absolutely love that. But going along with that, if you're going to teach me about the war, make sure it's historically accurate. What I loved about Battlefield 1 was it was historically accurate. They didn't have, okay, it was not 100% historically accurate. You had black German soldiers. Now, they weren't too many. Yes, there were some that came from the colonies, but there were not too many. So including them in the game themselves is not historically inaccurate. The numbers that they were represented in is fairly historically inaccurate, but based on the squad system and the, not the squad system, but the class system, they picked it as the scout, so that means about a quarter of the players will be playing as a African black person, and so that was a little, it's okay, I get it, that's fine. Females, there was one set of females. If you're playing as the Russian Empire as a scout, you were a female. Now that is a nod to the Russians' Women's Battalion of Death. They very much were a part of the war, and they were also a part of the Russian Revolution, and they fought on both sides of the Russian Revolution, and they fought for the Russian Empire in World War I. So I think it's very okay for them to be in the war in that situation. Go ahead, put women in there. Now, what I don't want to see is a COD World War II where you have women fighting on the front lines alongside men. COD World War II, you could customize your character, and you could be a black Nazi woman. No, that's not how it happened. Nazis were very racist. They were only white. They were white, blonde hair, blue eyes, ideally, but they were white. They were men, too. Now, I can see the French Resistance. Yes, if we have a French Resistance faction, go ahead, put women in there. I'm perfectly fine with that. When you're fighting as the Americans, have the black people in there. I know that they were segregated, but they can be in there. They fought on the front lines very much. So that I'm 100% okay with. It's when I can customize my American troop to be a white female, or I can customize my Japanese person to be a white female, or a black female for the Nazis, or just a black person in general for the Nazis. That's where the problem comes in for me. I want it to be historically accurate. Put women in there for the French Resistance. Go ahead. I don't want an American woman fighting on the front lines, because that's not how it worked. I want it to be historically accurate. This is not being sexist or anything. This is me asking for historical accuracy on EA's part. I think that's important. Now, building off that a little bit, I want to come on to the topic of the swastika. Now, COD World War II did include the swastika a little bit from my memory. I do have the game. I regret buying it. It's a piece of trash. But it did have the swastika in it. I know it did. But it wasn't included to the extent that it was supposed to be. The swastika was everywhere. Nazis had it everywhere. Flags, buildings, uniforms, hats. It was everywhere. I want it to be everywhere in the game. Now, this is not me being a neo-Nazi, white, racist, supremacist guy. It's me wanting historical accuracy once again. Make the game historically accurate, DICE and EA. And they're good at this. They did it very well. They instituted historical accuracy very well into Battlefield 1, which is part of the reason why I love the game. Now, me wanting to love, next game comes out, the swastika needs to be there. Now, the Iron Cross can be there. I get that the Iron Cross is there as well. But the swastika needs to be prevalent as well in the game. That's me asking for historically. Actually, I'm not a racist person. A lot of people think I am. That's simply because I'm Republican. Quick disclaimer: not all Republicans are racist. So, yeah. Just a disclaimer there for you guys. Now, there are a couple other things I want there to be. This is more gameplay related. The historical accuracy, I want it to be there. But more gameplay related stuff. Guys, I think there needs to be a deeper weapon progression system in this game. Now, in Battlefield 1, weapon progression was there, but how it worked, you got a certain set of guns for rank 1, and then you could get more at rank 2, more at rank 3, then you had a gap, and then you got 1 for each class at rank 10, excuse me. I want it to be guns at rank 1, guns at rank 5, guns at rank 10, and you get one really good gun at maybe like rank 25. So you have something to keep grinding for. And personally, I think having something to grind for is very important. Now, I have been grinding this game a lot because I want to get to rank 140, or actually it's up to 150 now. I'm never going to get there, but it's some goal for me. I had a goal for a while, get every class to rank 50. I'm at every class rank 50 now. Grinding is important. Now, a lot of people won't grind just to say, oh, I'm assault rank 50 and I'm support rank 50. They're going to grind for the cool gun so they can go and murk people out on the battlefield. So, yes, I want to see more stuff. I got perfectly fine with this progression system, but other people need more, and we need to keep the player base as alive and well for as long as possible. Now, another thing that I want to see is I want the game to become a little bit more deep in general. This game feels a little arcadey. Now, yes, I very much love the game, but I went out and got Battlefield 4, and that game did not feel as arcadey. It felt more deep. It felt more intense. It felt more serious than Battlefield 1 did. Now, yes, it's okay for it to be arcadey. It's good for it to be accessible to a lot of people, especially new players. Had this game not been accessible to new players, I might not be playing it, and I might not be making this video right now. But I don't want it to be as arcadey. They need to find a good balance. Now, this was very close to a good balance, but I think that there needs to be a little bit more balance in the side of a more serious first-person shooter here. Now, another thing I want to see be included again is incursions. Incursions came to all platforms, I'd say about a month and a half ago now, so I've been playing it for a little while. I very much enjoy the competitive Battlefield aspect of the game. Now, it came out a long time, I think it's about a year ago now, that Incursions first hit the scene. I think it was at E3 or EA Play that it originally came out, so almost a year ago now. And it was on PC for a while, and I was dying to play. So Incursions, if you don't know, it's small 5v5 Battlefield 1 competitive. Now, I want to see it return in the next game. They could keep building on it with this game. I'd be perfectly fine with that, just continue to improve on it. But I'd like to see it return with the next game no matter what. I think it's important for it to move to competitive, because if it's a competitive game that people know that if they're really good at it, they can make a name for themselves, they're going to want to play the game a little bit more, I think. So it gives it a little bit more draw. So I think that that's important. And on top of that, it's just a good game mode. I enjoy it very much. Now, another thing I want to see, we know that war stories are going to be returning. Now, in Battlefield 1, we got like 5.5 war stories. One of them was more of a tutorial with a Harlem Hellfighter. It was really a tutorial for the game. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. And then we had one with a tanker, one with an American pilot, one with a Italian Arditi, which was Sentry. That one was pretty cool. Just because you're a Sentry, the story in that one was pretty shitty in my opinion. Then we got one with an Anzac troop, and then we got one with someone with the what was it, the Arab revolt up against the Ottoman. They were all very cool war stories, and I really enjoyed that format, getting several stories, not too deep, any of them. Really, the only one where you got to get the character got to know the character well was the tank one. You kind of got to get the pilot one, and then the Anzac one was pretty good. But I mean, the Arditi guy was very forgettable, and then the chick from the Arab Revolt one was fairly forgettable. I did enjoy that one though a lot because of Lawrence. It was based on Lawrence of Arabia, and that is a very interesting story in my opinion. But I want to see a war story from a Nazi point of view. I think that would be very cool and very, very, very different. So have 4 from an Allied point of view, and then have 1 from a Nazi point of view, and that would be, they could do a lot with that. Like, have the Nazi thinking, I'm doing the right thing. This is what's good for the world. But in reality, he's doing something very evil. He's doing something wrong. Now, no, you don't have to go to Auschwitz and show all that stuff. You don't have to do that. You can have just a Nazi fighting on the front lines, thinking he's fighting for the right cause. But in reality, the reality of the matter is he's on the wrong side of history. I think that would be amazing, and it's something that no one has ever really done before in a major AAA game, and I think that would be huge for DICE and EA. Now, it's a big risk because you got the libtards out there, and they'd be like, he can't do that. That's not fair. Well, guess what? It is fair. People want it, and it would be very interesting, and get over it. You're not a Jew that survived the Holocaust, most likely, so suck it up. Anyways, moving on, another thing I need to see in this game is the Japanese front. Now, COD World War II did not go to the Japanese front. They were only on the Western Front. Something amazing that was with Battlefield 1 was the amount of fronts they touched on. It's a world war, World War I and World War II. Now, when you think of World War I, you think of the trenches on the Western Front near Verdun and the Somme and Passchendaele. You think of those battles on the Western Front. Well, in reality, there were many fronts. There was the African campaign, the Cossacks, there was the Russian front, there was the Western Front, there were sea battles. So it was everywhere. There were Asian battles. So in this game, we got several different factions. We got the Russian Revolution. We got the Russian Front. We got the North Sea expansion. We got Gallipoli. We got the Ottoman Empire. We got a ton of stuff in different fronts, and I think that was very, very cool in my opinion. And this one's again kind of goes back to the historical accuracy. World War I was not just on the Western Front. There was the Pacific Front. There was the African Front. There was the Asian Pacific Front. There was the Russian Front. They were all very relevant. So I think they all need to be touched on. They're all equally important. So they all need to be touched on. COD World War II, for some stupid-ass reason that I can't think of, did not go to the Japanese front. And I was talking to a kid in school, and I don't even know if the kid really plays video games that much. I know he has COD World War II, that's all I really know. And he said they didn't go there because it's too gruesome, it's too violent, it's too dark. And I can believe that. It was very dark. It was very gruesome. The Japanese jumped off of cliffs and threw their babies off of cliffs instead of accepting surrender. It was a dark front. It was a dark time in human history, American history, Japanese history. So I can see that, but it's a part of history. It's a part of the war. If you're going to make a game on the war, make a game on the war. Don't call it COD World War II. Call it COD only the Western Front World War II. So I think that they need to do that. Now, granted, COD might put out an expansion with some of the Japanese front, but I doubt it. Like, when this game launched, there was no Russian front, and there was no French faction, and people were very upset by that. There was no French faction. So, what I want to see, first of all, give us expansion packs and give us new maps, but make sure all the big factions are there first. I think that's fairly important too. Like, add the Anzacs later, kind of say, oh, in addition to the British troops, you get the Anzacs now. That would be okay, or maybe, so stuff like that I think you could add later, but don't skip out on something like the French in World War I. That's big, so don't skip out on the Japanese at the beginning. That's a fairly big faction in the war. But that relates to the historical accuracy part of it as well. I feel like it's very important to be historically accurate. If you're going to make a game, make it well. So guys, I got my a couple more points I want to make. One, vehicle gameplay. I felt like it was implemented in this game very well. It's very different for World War I. I mean, you go from Battlefield 4, where you have fighter jets, and you can just lock on with missiles and stuff, to World War I, where you have Sopwith camels, and you're literally flying pieces of metal with cloth on them. It's very, very different. So, Battlefield 5 will be different from that standpoint. It's going to have metal fighter planes. It's going to be different. They're going to be faster. But I feel like vehicle gameplay was pretty good in this game. It can have some improvements, of course. The tank gameplay was not as diverse as they could go. They did very good with the tank gameplay, in my opinion. They were very limited to what they could do because they wanted to stay historically accurate. Thank you for doing that. But they're limited to it, and I think they did good with it. But we're going to have more options in the next game, and I feel like DICE and EA will capitalize on that fairly well. So that's gonna bring me to my last point, and the last point I want to bring is don't Battlefront 2 this game. Don't fuck it up. It's basic. The formula's there. You know what you need to do. Just make some small changes. Update the graphics. Give us World War II. Touch on these things that I did here, and everyone's gonna be happy with the game. So honestly, I would rather see them put premium into this game than microtransactions, because with microtransactions, I'm afraid they're just gonna fuck it up. To be totally honest with you, I'm scared of microtransactions now. Now, they haven't really messed up a game like this. They haven't messed up a Battlefield game yet. Hardline, people say they messed it up, but that was just a different game. They were kind of screwing around with it, trying to see what would work. It didn't work. That's fine. That's not a mess up. That's just they were trying something new. They haven't messed up a Battlefield game yet. I don't think they will. EA still hasn't figured out their Battlefront 2 formula, so they don't get a pass, but I'm not as concerned with this game simply because Battlefront 2 was new. It's a new series. This has been established since 2002. So I'm not that concerned, but please don't mess up the microtransactions. I have faith in you. You can put it in the right way. Now, some ideas. Weapon skins. Weapon skins were here. Loot boxes, whatever the hell they're called. Battle crates, battle boxes. I don't know what they're called. I play this game all the time, but I can't think of what they're called. I'm having a blank here. But whatever. You can buy those with microtransactions, but I would rather you see directly buy a skin, like for the MP18 trench I'm using right here. One of the the legendary skins is called the Kaiserschlacht, and it's a camo skin. Buy the Kaiserschlacht directly for $1 or 50 cents, however much you're going to charge for it. You can't charge too much for weapon skins. But cosmetics, you can add in cosmetics. Once again, if you're adding in cosmetics, don't put females on the Americans or the Germans, or blacks on the Germans. Don't screw with the historical accuracy stuff, or vehicle skins, stuff like that. But no loot crates and buying for better things. But I want them to have premium, because I know if they put in premium, if I pay $60 off the bat like that, pay $60, they have to give me what they told me they're giving me, or else they're screwed. Like, EA will go in the dumpster. With Battlefront 2, they said, oh, microtransactions will fund what's coming for you. So, yeah, we'll get back to you when that stuff is going to be coming. They don't have to give me anything. I didn't pay for it. They don't have to give me post-launch content. If I pay for premium, done. You have to give me post-launch. I paid for it. You give it to me. That's how it works. So that's why I would not be disappointed if they gave us premium, because I know I'm getting legit post-launch maps and shit. So that's my theory on the microtransactions. Don't screw it up. I have faith in them. I don't think they're going to really screw it up, but yeah. So Battlefield 1 was good. Battlefield 4 was good. And I don't see how they can really mess up Battlefield 5. It's World War II. It's going to sell well. And my only hope I can have for this game is that it finally takes over COD. If COD screws up Black Ops 4, I think Battlefield 1 will officially become the game in first-person shooters, war first-person shooters, and I'll be very excited when that happens. So guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on Battlefield 5? Hopefully it's World War II, because if it's not, this video makes no sense. Guys, reveal on Wednesday. This video is probably coming out to you on Tuesday, making it on Monday night, and I'm probably going to upload it around 5 on Tuesday. So if it's 5 on Tuesday, I'm right. If it's not, I'm wrong. But if the odds are, the reveal's coming out tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific time. Make sure you tune in. I have a freaking dentist appointment at 3:30, so I'm going to haul to get home so I can get that watch the reveal. But guys, I am hyped beyond belief. I haven't been hyped for a game like this in quite since Battlefront 2, but let's hope this hype actually builds up to something worth my time. So guys, thoughts and comments in down below. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed what you saw. Subscribe if you haven't. It was a long video, and if you're still with me, yeah, thanks for sticking with me the whole time. And yeah, that's just about it. Subscribe if you haven't. That would be great. I might start streaming again. I haven't streamed in a while. Maybe we'll do a Battlefield 1 stream. Coming up soon. I always play shit when I do those. But anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. All that good stuff. Subscribe, like, comment, yeah, yada yada. Tell your friends. Tell your friends.